In rural northeast Pennsylvania, natural gas wells like this one are as common as a ranch-style home or a two-lane country road. They pop up constantly as you travel over the sprawling tree-lined hills, clearly marked. This one owned and operated by Cabot Oil and Gas. Cabot, along with Halliburton and other drilling companies, descended on Pennsylvania in the middle to late 2000s to tap into the Marcellus Shale. The companies use a process called hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, which is a process of pumping water, sand, and chemicals into the ground to break up the shale and extract the gas. Just outside Scranton is Dimmock, Pennsylvania, and it's become somewhat of a ground zero for fracking. Residents here say that as soon as the gas industry moved in a few years ago, they started noticing changes to their water.
Shortly right after the drilling and the fracking went on, all the water in Dimmock started changing. Now see, originally when they did this, they put this one in, which is the same size as this one here, okay?
Raymond Kemble lives in Dimmock, directly across the street from a drill site. He's been unable to use his tap water for years, instead reverting to tapping into external water sources that can then be stored in tanks outside his house. Kembler says the gas companies are directly to blame.
We've done this over 1.2 million times, and in all of that time, there has never been a documented case, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, of that process, that fracturing process, and the water from it with those chemicals ever getting into an aquifer.
But the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection has acknowledged gas companies could be to blame for gas in residents' water, like this 2010 open letter to Dimmock, Pennsylvania residents written by then DEP Secretary John Hanger, where it says drinking water problems in Dimmock caused by gas migration from Cabot Oil and Gas Corporation wells. The gas industry is quick to point out the benefits, though. The American Petroleum Institute has figures that show more than 100,000 jobs directly related to natural gas drilling in Pennsylvania alone, and President Obama has taken notice.
The bottom line is natural gas is creating jobs. It's lowering many families' heat and power bills.
That was President Obama during a June 25th speech where he laid out his climate action plan. It's gained support from pro-drilling Republicans, but it has environmentalists who have supported the president in the past split.
Certainly, we'd like to see President Obama recognizing that despite what the industry has claimed, natural gas is not an alternative fuel.
Christine Griffin is Smithfield, Pennsylvania Township Supervisor, a registered Democrat and someone who is heavily against fracking. She says the only acceptable thing to do right now is to implement a statewide moratorium.
If that resource is going to be exploited, we want to see it being really tightly managed. And thus far, it's not. And they haven't proved that there is a way to do it.
Our abundant natural resources are a blessing.
The Congressional Natural Gas Caucus held a field hearing in Williamsport, Pennsylvania last week, where pro-drilling members discussed the benefits of fracking. The meeting was largely one-sided, as all four congressmen support the continued exploration of natural gas.
I support what the president's doing. He's the first president in my years in Congress that actually talked about the success we're doing with natural gas.
In the president's speech on climate change, he said he will continue to favor drilling for natural gas as long as it's done in a safe way. House Republicans on the Hill seem to agree.
And I've been a strong advocate of properly and safely developing this natural resource because it is a game changer.
A game changer that easily shows economic benefits, but it'll take more than new jobs for environmentalists and residents like Raymond Kembler to get behind this natural gas. For WashingtonExaminer.com, I'm Steve Doty.